Jane Unchained Live Talk. I am here with three of my heroes, and they are fighting for chimps who are, they've got to find some new homes. So look at these beautiful, 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 innocent babies. And 32 of them need to be relocated from a facility in Los Angeles that has closed. No fault of their own. It just happens at times. And they desperately need to find new homes. So look into the eyes of this beautiful, innocent animal and let's help save these 32 chimps. I'm going to start with my dear friend, Elaine Hendricks, who told me about this. Elaine, you sent me an email. It just went right to my heart. What's going on?
Well, it's exactly what you said, Jane. There's a wildlife center in Los Angeles that closed, and all of the animals have been placed except for these 32 chimps. And chimpanzees share 99% of our DNA. They are extraordinarily intelligent, emotional beings. And so you can't just send them anywhere. They have to go to proper sanctuaries, and those sanctuaries have to have everything set up properly. Otherwise, they're going to end up in situations we don't want them in. And that takes, just, cutting to the bottom line of it, that takes money. It takes funding. It's very expensive, and it's very worth it, though, because these incredible beings have been brought to this center due to biomedical research, entertainment, the exotic pet trade, and they deserve a freer, kinder, better life than they've had so far.
So I want to play a beautiful video that will hopefully open your hearts. And if all of us watching give something, we're going to be on our way to solving this. Check out these extraordinary beings. Break your heart. Erika Fleury, you're deeply involved in this. Tell us what people can do.
Yes, hi, Jane. I'm the North American Primate Sanctuary Alliance's program director, and so NAPSA has stepped in to oversee the placement of these incredible beings. What we need is support. Elaine already mentioned that primate sanctuaries need the funding in order to build. We've established a list. We have 4 primate sanctuary partners who are experienced and have decades of chimpanzee care experience. And they're willing to help, but they need to build to welcome these chimps. This was not an expected need. They were not anticipating to welcome more chimpanzees at this time. So they're willing to do it, but they're not able to do it quite yet. And so we're fundraising for that purpose. And we're also fundraising for the current care of the chimps that are at the way station. There's 32 chimpanzees still left there, and their care costs $100,000 a month. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife is overseeing that right now. But in these COVID days, budgets are threatened, and we're terrified of what could happen if California Department of Fish and Wildlife isn't able to continue covering these expenses. The chimpanzees are fortunate to have their caregivers still with them from the way station, and we're so grateful for that because those are really dedicated individuals. But we need to keep them there because we need to keep these chimpanzees healthy and safe so that we can move them and so that they can enjoy a better life at stable sanctuaries.
So Bob Ingersoll, you are legendary chimp advocate. I'm honored to have you on this broadcast. What would you tell people to inspire them to give now? Because these animals, as Elaine said, they share 99% of our DNA. Is that it? I mean, these are incredibly sentient beings. They can't just be treated like commodities and shipped off. I know we had talked about the fact that you're trying to keep the friends together because they form bonds and we don't want them separated. But they desperately need help now.
I agree. Well, as Jane Goodall has said, they're just like us. And they need our support right now. 22 of these chimps I actually have had dealings with in the past. I helped to place 22 of those chimps that are now in need there from a lab in New York. And for quite some time, things were good at Wildlife Way Station. Unfortunately, circumstances have developed that require these particular chimps to be moved to sanctuaries. Thankfully, there are 4 sanctuaries that I've actually visited, all 4, and they all are ready and willing to take these animals in. We'll assess each friendship and each group and make sure that everybody is placed appropriately. And in the long run, I think it will be better. The danger at the current place, 2 fires in the last 10 years that require this facility to actually take steps to protect the animals, and they're doing it. Wildlife Way Station has a long history of taking in animals, and they need our help now, so we're here to help them.
Everybody is trying their best to help these animals. Listen, I have a few rescue companion animals in my home. It's a full-time job. I'm sure all of you can relate. Imagine 32 chimps. I mean, this is extraordinary work. And those of us who are animal advocates need to step up in times of, we need to step up in times of crisis in order to help these animals. So where would they go? Do you have homes for all of them?
We do. So the sanctuaries that have been identified who can take these chimps are Chimp Haven in Louisiana, primarily Primates in Texas, Center for Great Apes in Florida, and Chimpanzee Sanctuary Northwest in Washington. They all have decades of chimpanzee care. They have existing populations, and they are able and experienced in integrating new chimpanzees into their facility.
And Jane, this is Elaine. Hi, I've had the great privilege and great honor of visiting some of these primate sanctuaries with Bob, and they are remarkable. The links that they go to provide safety and stimulation and total care, mentally, emotionally, and physically for these beings is incredible. And so that's why the funds are as high as they are, $100,000 a month, because it takes a lot to properly care for these animals. And none of them asked for this fate. Chimpanzees are not native to California. They're not native to Washington or Florida or any of these places. it's humans who have brought them into these situations, and it's unfortunately going to be humans who need to get them out of these situations. But thankfully, there are a lot of really compassionate, woke people out there who knows what needs to be done. And if we can all chip in, it will take a village to get it done, and it can be done. We just desperately need help. We desperately need that village to come together.
And we are talking with an incredible team, including Elaine Hendricks. And I always say Elaine Hendricks is the star of Dynasty. She plays Alexis Carrington, who is a diabolical figure, but in real life, she's an amazingly compassionate, wonderful animal advocate who devotes all her free time to helping animals like these 32 chimps. We have one other video to show you, and it really does illustrate how when they find their home, their new home, and they are sometimes reunited with a friend who arrived a few minutes earlier. It's really joyous to watch. You can be a part of this. Please donate. I'm going to donate. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going right on primatesanctuaries.org/chimps in need, and I'm donating. And I urge you all to do the same. Oh my gosh, that is.
It makes me cry every time.
I know.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
Also, Elaine, these animals have served us humans. They've been in research, and we don't want to dwell too much on that, but they've sacrificed what they've gone through no fault of their own. The least we can do
It's
is
so
help
true.
them
Biomedical
now.
research, entertainment, and the exotic pet trade, and they're complete victims. They're totally victims to this, and we can change that. And they deserve to have a brand new beginning. You know, this wildlife center we thought was the answer. Unfortunately, that circumstance has changed. So now we have to find a new answer. And I believe that we can do it. We just need everybody again to pitch in. Please spread the word. Go to primatesanctuaries.org. There's a special button where people can donate. And, you know, Jane, we've both been doing this a very long time. And I honestly tell people, every single penny helps. Like, there is no amount that is too small. I don't want anybody to ever think like, oh, I can't do anything. You can share the word. You can send $5, $3, $100, like whatever you can do. It all adds up and makes a difference.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's been heartwarming to see support come from all over the world for these chimps. I think, you know, the video really strikes a nerve with people. And when you see the chimp running outside in the sunset, I mean, I know they all deserve that opportunity. And so that's why Elaine is in this. That's why I'm doing this. And Bob and everyone else, they deserve the world. And so we've taken a lot from them throughout history, and we need to start giving it back, starting with these 32 that are so desperately in need right now.
And I would like to say that for so many people, because I hear so many people talking about, I feel blue, I feel isolated, I feel like, oh, this is a great way to get out of yourself. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like, oh, you know, and we're going to add our buddy Bob Ingersoll, who is an incredible hero for chimps, to the mix. This is a way for you, if you're feeling down about this coronavirus, giving and being of service to others is always the best way to get out of any funk. And I think I certainly have had my moments. This is like month whatever that I've been isolated. But I know that if I give today, which I will, I'm going to give today, the second I hang up, it's going to make me feel, it's going to connect me with the values that really matter. And Erika, just elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you can do. There's so much in the world to struggle with right now. And we know that. We know that everyone has a lot on their minds other than chimps, but this is a change you can help bring about. And this is something positive you can put into the universe on behalf of animals who are completely innocent. These chimps don't know coronavirus is going on. They don't know there's social unrest going on. They just know that they need better. And so you can help us do that. And we need you to do that. Elaine used the phrase I've been using constantly. It takes a village. And we need everyone out there watching this to be part of that village on behalf of those chimps.
And Bob, while we have you, tell us a little bit about their sophistication for people who don't really understand how extraordinarily intelligent those animals are. And we're going to toss that over back to Elaine, because Bob is obviously off helping the chimps right now.
Yes. Well, you know, on the point of, you know, how we've all been primarily in quarantine ourselves, like, and we are, so many people are struggling with that over the past 5 or 6 months. These apes have been experiencing that almost their entire lives.
Right.
They share 99% of our DNA. So as crazy as we may feel that we're going in just, you know, 5-6 months of a quarantine, imagine years, imagine decades of that. Chimpanzees, they're highly intelligent. They have very sophisticated relationships and an emotional body within themselves. They're really, I mean, people really, it's not far-fetched to say you really need to think of them as our fellow humans. Yes, there are differences. They do not belong with us humans. But when it comes to mental and emotional and social structures, we're very, very, very similar.
And let me jump in, Bob. You've worked very closely with chimpanzees. Tell us about them.
They're just like us. They interact with you and I just like they do with their friends. We don't recommend that kind of thing anymore. I'm well known for interacting with chimps personally, but over the years, I've come to the conclusion and the realization that chimps really need to be with other chimps. They need to have chimp lives, not human lives. Sadly, during the 70s and 80s, we tried to turn a lot of chimps into humans, which was fraught with difficulty, and it ended up hurting all the chimps. 22 of these chimps that we're trying to rescue today or trying to help today are actually directly connected to the lab LEMSEP in New York City and New York and Long Island. Those chimps deserve our help. They served us for literally decades, some their entire lives. And when they did make it to Wildlife Waste Station, we all assumed that things were going to be great, and they were for a while. And unfortunately, budget cuts, those fires that I mentioned earlier have impacted Wildlife Waste Station in a way that has made them have to make some tough decisions. I don't think they wanted to close. And I think the realization is that there isn't another choice. These chimps and all the animals at the Wildlife Waste Station need to be rehomed. And hopefully we're going to get them to the most proper and most helpful sanctuaries and facilities across the country. We've already, and Erika can speak to this a little bit, a number of the animals have already been placed. Erika and I worked with the monkeys that have already been placed. They're already at several facilities, one of which is a facility we're going to send some of these chimps to if we raise the funds. I've actually worked at or visited all four of these situations, and I can vouch for them. They're plenty good, as good as any place in the world for these chimps. As a matter of fact, Nim's daughter, Sheba, lives at
Oh, how wonderful.
in Louisiana. I've visited
Yes.
there a number of times. It's a fabulous
Yes.
place. And the chimps deserve this. And I hope that everyone is listening, because like Elaine said, $1. If everybody gave $1, I think we could do it. And or 10 or 100, or your rich uncle could, throw in a bigger check, whatever it takes. But I think you'll all be pleased to see the results of this effort, and that will come, and you'll be able to see these chimps thriving at all four of these sanctuaries. So I encourage you, and I know that it's tough right now. It's tough on all of us. We're all at home. We're all having to struggle. We're all in this together. We should step up for these chimps who've stepped up for us their entire lives. So
And it will make you feel
Jane.
real good. It will make, and the short clip I want to play one more time because it really, really, really tells the story. So you can see that a whole coalition of organizations came together, working together. You see all the people who are putting in such incredible work, driving across the country, and the work, the hard work that is involved. So the least we can do is just open our wallets and give something. I mean, it's easy, but it will make you feel good. If you're feeling trapped, think about these poor animals who've been trapped for their whole lives in a cage. For us, they were used for biomedical research. Now they were in a sanctuary that has closed and they need to be rehomed. You can feel really good, connect with the world, connect with the values that are important by giving now. So as we wrap up, final thoughts, we'll start with you, Erika.
Yeah, I think Elaine hit the nail on the head when she compared these chimpanzees to how we're all feeling right now in quarantine due to COVID-19. I think it's important to remember that these sanctuaries that are waiting to accept the chimps are all about choice. That's what makes a true sanctuary so incredible. The animals that are there have the ability to make a decision about if they want to go in the grass or if they want to stay inside or if they want to play with some water or have a snack. And that's why it's so important that these chimpanzees go to the right facilities that are experienced and ready to care for them in responsible, non-exploitive ways. So we're here to help with that, but we need you to help us do that. So please help us help them. Thank you.
And Bob, your final thoughts?
I agree. Erika's got it right. These places are the proper place. They have the proper staff. They have the proper veterinary care. They have all the things these chimps need. All they need now is us. And if we all step up, we'll all be glad we did what we're attempting to do here. So I thank you, Jane. I thank Elaine, especially Elaine and Erika, for doing the hard work. I know that there's a lot more to do, but we're going to build some momentum here and get this done. In spite of how tough times are right now, I think it's important for us to continue to do good, because that makes us feel good.
Exactly. And Elaine, I want to thank you for letting me know about this. There's so much happening in the world today. It's easy to overlook. So please, thank you for tipping me off to this. Anything else I can do? Your final thoughts.
Well, Jane, you know, the village that we've been talking about, my friend Bob here called me and said, Elaine, I never ask you for anything. Can you please help with this? And I was like, Bob, of course. And please ask me endlessly for things to help animals. I'll do whatever I can. And then he connected me to Erika. And now I'm, you know, I've forced my way into being a part of this team to make it happen. And then I reach out to you, Jane, and now here we are. So this is what it takes. And Jane, your tireless effort, you do this every day, all the time. This is certainly not the first time that we've worked together. It won't be the last. I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate everything that Erika, Bob, and everyone is doing for this and for all animals. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. And let me say this, sitting here in front of a laptop talking to Elaine Hendricks of Dynasty is nothing compared to the hard work that these folks put in, caring for these animals day in and day out, feeding them, giving them veterinary care. Those are my heroes, along with everyone here. Thank you. Please, watching at home, give generously. I promise you it will make you feel great during this strange time. We'll keep you posted on this campaign. Talk soon. Bye.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.